I'll just sit.
Which I think is probably cover for me in June.
Please stand for our first song this morning, I Walk and I Walk.
Mom, have some fun with it. Have some fun with it. That's all. Thanks,
Thank you, and good morning, and happy Mother's Day. This is a wonderful, special day. And as I think about the mothers in my life, I would like to open this service with a prayer of appreciation for the family, for all mothers, all mothers, all feminine energy that heals and helps and guides and loves. We must have appreciation, great love, and respect for that incredible, wonderful energy that is in us all. And so, God, we ask and call for blessings to all mothers and the feminine on this very special day. Amen and amen and amen. And so it is. And I am Paula Grant. Good morning again. And we are being accompanied, I am being accompanied this morning. Our speaker, children's message, and meditation are going to be delivered by Bunni, Vaughan, Healy, and we appreciate you, love you, Bunni. Music is Dave Lacombe and friends, many friends. Oh, and who's at the piano this morning?
Jill Trinket.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. We have our ushers in the back. We have Lloyd Lehman and Carol O'Dwyer. Thank you very much. And PowerPoint, Ave Lopez. Our sound is Melanie back there. We appreciate you and love you, Melanie, for doing this. And do we have a teacher this morning? Our youth teacher? Janice. Thank you, Janice. And so, I'd like to ask you to please turn off your cell phones if you haven't done so already. And we will start with the Lord's Prayer this morning. translated in Aramaic. Father, Mother, Earther, and Bread of all, create a space inside of us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire then flows through ours as energy fills all form. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment, and untangle the knots of error that bind us as we release others. Do not let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. From age to age, through you, flow the glorious harmonies of life. May these words be fertile statements through which our future grows. Amen, amen, and amen. And at this point, I'm going to call the ushers forward. We have our duo fund, which is our Do Unto Others fund. And this is for loose change to help people who need help in this community and outside the community, or in the entire world community.
And we would like to perform for you a song called I Am One with the Heart of the Mother.
And now I would like to read some pearls of wisdom from Mother Teresa, with a great book called The Joy of Living from Mother Teresa. And I picked out a few passages this morning that kind of give you, because I didn't know her personally, however, that give you the spirit of Mother Teresa and hopefully guide us. She was very wise. My sisters and I greet the Lord, one another, each morning at 4:30 a.m. with the words, "Let us bless the Lord. Thanks be to God." Let us always greet each other with a smile, for a smile is the beginning of love. And then another one that she is really pretty well known for, but I'm going to repeat it again. She says, "When I was crossing into Gaza, I was asked at the check post whether I was carrying any weapons, and I replied, 'Oh yes, my prayer books.'" And so that's a little glimpse into Mother Teresa. And now we're going to go to our children's blessing. And Bunny? And all children, tall and small.
There she is. Want to come sit down? I'm going to read you guys a story, and I want to know what you think about it. Do you know what an anthropologist is? Because there's an anthropologist in this story. And that's somebody who goes, wait a minute, do I know what an anthropologist is? That's somebody who goes and studies old civilizations and people who lived before. And studies how people live. And he went to an African tribe. Sounds like he should have been a sociologist, but I'll just read the story. He studied an African tribe, and he proposed a game to the children. And he put a basket of fruit over near a tree, and he told the kids that the first one to reach the fruit would win all the fruit. And when he told them to run, they held hands and they all ran together. And then they sat together and ate all the fruit. And when he asked them why they ran like that, because if they had run separately, one of the kids could have gotten there first and eaten all the fruit. The kids said, Ubuntu. How can one of us be happy if the others are sad? Ubuntu is a philosophy of African tribes that can be summed up as, I am because we are. And I love that story. And I know that some of you kids would do that on good days. And probably on bad days you wouldn't. And on bad days the rest of us wouldn't either. But I love the story because I think that's how we can be. And I think we would all do better if we thought of what's going to be best for everybody. Don't you think so, Michael? No? You didn't hear the question, though, did you? Anyway, one of the things that the grown-ups up here always talk about is creating a world that works for everybody. And I thought this was a really good example of that. Yep. So, you guys go downstairs. We're going to do our blessing. Let's stand and do our blessing. Oh yeah, you stand up there so everybody can see you. There you go. You want to stand up here, Gigi, so everybody can see you? Come on, let's look a little people. Like me, stand up here. Let me get behind you. We love you. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you. And we love you just the way you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, boy, Michael. Okay. We are looking for a sound person to train. And if you are interested in that, would you please see Melanie Moore? She's in the back at the sound desk. Dinner and movie, Friday, May 17th. There's a sign-up board right here. Do you want me to pass it out? Okay. And vegetarian meal, $10 donation, and Magic Hand of Chance, based on the writings of Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer. Today is May 12th, Mother's Day, second Sunday of the month. Yay, mothers. And Bunny is going to speak this morning, and she will have a great workshop, which is green and clean, sorry. This afternoon starting at 1:30, so if anybody's interested, 1:30 to 3:30 we have a workshop. And that's it for the announcements. Thank you. And we're going to read the UCC's Statement of Purpose. I am the consciousness of Unity Christ Church, a unified board and congregation, nurturing spiritual growth inspiring creativity, sharing time, talents, treasures, and expanding awareness of divine oneness. And so it is. And at this point in our service this morning, I'd like to take the opportunity to welcome anybody who hasn't been here in a long time or who's just coming to meet with us the first time. We want to welcome you and embrace you. So if you wouldn't mind standing and telling us your name and where you're from, we'd love that. Way in the back. Yes. Hi.
I'm Brian, Melanie's son.
Hey.
Just got back from Ohio, so.
Here you are. Perfect timing.
I'd like to introduce my son, Bunni, from Georgia.
Hi, Dawn. Yes, ma'am. And the pink with the flowers.
Kathy Victoria, I'm an old friend of Pam and Marcus.
Ah, welcome. Anyone on this side? No? Oh, there you are.
Hi, happy Mother's Day, everybody. And I'm Diane Haynes. I'm the mother of the drummer.
Yes. Okay, the Daily Word. This is the publication of Unity, over 100 years old, and a special Mother's Day blessing, Mother's Blessing. And we'll start off with, may all mothers be blessed with love and appreciation. You can repeat that now with me. May all mothers be blessed with love and appreciation. I bless mothers and all who give from their hearts to care for children. Love is essential for a child to thrive and grow, and today we celebrate and honor maternal love. With gratitude in my heart, I bring to mind my own mother, or a motherly figure. I give thanks for the one who nurtured and guided me, stood by me through difficulties, shaped me into the person I am today. Connected by a love that transcends time, distance, and circumstance, we are one in the love of God, forever linked and blessed. Mothers of the world, may you be blessed knowing you are loved and appreciated. God is the source from which all love emanates, and you are an expression of God's love as you tend to those in your care. And from Genesis 17:16, I will bless her, and she shall give rise to nations. And let's say this blessing one more time. May all mothers be blessed with love and appreciation. And I send that especially to my mother Lillian, who passed over 3 years ago. And we go to another song.
All right. Please stand up and join us in doing I'm a Being of the Spiritual Realm. Although I am living a human existence.
today is Reconnecting with the Mother, and Bunni Healy is here to give us that message. Bunny?
You sure look a lot scarier from this angle. Well, I want to read something to you to start with from Khalil Gibran. He's one of my favorites. And, in thinking about, there's so many Mother Earth things, so many ways to look at it, and so many thoughts to think. And I tend to go towards the goddessy aspect of things anyway. So I found this from Khalil Gibran, and it surprised me because I thought I knew everything he ever wrote, and I didn't know this. It's entitled Earth. How beautiful you are, Earth, and how sublime. What wisdom in your obedience to the light, and what nobility in your submission to the sun. How seductive you are when veiled in shadow, and how radiant is your face beneath the mask of darkness. How crystalline your songs at dawn, and how marvelous are the praises sung at the hour of your twilight. How perfect you are, Earth, and how majestic. I have crossed your plains and climbed your mountains. I have gone down into your valleys and entered your caves. On the plains I have discovered your dreams. On the mountains I have admired your splendid presence. And in the valleys I have observed your tranquility. Among the rocks I have felt your firmness. In the caves I have touched your mysteries. You who are relaxed in your strength, haughty in your modesty, humble in your arrogance, gentle in your resistance, limpid in your secrets. I have crossed your seas, explored your rivers, and walked the banks of your streams. I have heard eternity speak through your ebb and flow, and the ages return the echoes of your melodies over your hillside. And I have heard life calling to itself in your mountain passes and along your valley slopes. You are the tongue and lips of eternity, the chords and fingers of eternity, and the thoughts and words of life. Your spring awoke me and led me toward your forests, where your breathing exhales in the distance its sweet perfume and spirals of incense. Your summer invited me into your fields to be present at your labor, at the birth of your jewel-like fruits. Your autumn showed me in your vineyards the blood running like wine. Your winter took me into its bed where your purity broadcast its flakes of snow. Your fragrance when young forced the growing magnificence of middle life, and with the ice of old age you are crystal. On a starry night I opened the locked gates of my soul and went out to be at your side with a curious and hungry heart. And I saw you looking at the stars which were smiling at you. Then I cast off my chains and shackles, for I discovered that the lodging of the soul is your universe, and that its desires grow within yours, that its peace dwells within your peace, and that its joy lies in that long hair of stars that night spreads over your body. One misty night, weary of idle dreaming, I went to meet you, and you appeared to me like a giant armed with furious tempests, fighting the past by means of the present, overturning the old to the advantage of the new, and letting the strong scatter the weak. In this way I learned that the law of man is your law. I learned that he who does not break up his branches dried out by his own tempest will die of indifference, and he who does not rebel to make his own dead leaves fall will perish from indolence. Immense are your gifts, earth, and deep are your groans. Long, too, are the languishing of your heart for your children, who have been led astray by their greed on the path of their truth. We cry out to each other, and you smile. We go astray, and you pay the penalty for us. We soil things, and you sanctify. And we blaspheme, and you bless. We sleep without ever dreaming, and your dream is your eternal wakefulness. We speak to you while piercing your breasts with swords and lances, and you heal our wound-like words with the scented oil of your waters. We sow our bones and skulls in the palm of your hand, and you make willows and cypresses grow. We store our refuse and excrement within your caves, and you fill our attics and taverns. We disfigure you with our blood, and you wash our hands in the Eden River. We dissect your entrails in order to extract cannon and rockets from them. And from our bones you create the lily and dew. Earth, you are long-suffering and magnanimous. And the earth cries out to the soil, I am the womb and the sepulchre, and I remain thus until the stars fade away and the sun turns into ashes. I love that when I was reading it, and the thing that struck me was that it sounds like the Mother Earth, and it sounds like all mothers, and it sounds like Goddess. It's all, on every level, it strikes us. And in the early religions, long before there were Jesus and Buddha, there was the Goddess. And it makes sense because, after all, we did create everybody here. But when I look at the inhabitants of the earth now, and I see, I think people are so wonderful, but I think we're so lacking in the simplest things and the things that the animals and every other being seems to have down pat. You know, we look at the instincts of others. We've talked many times here about how you can plant a seed and that the seed has the whole thing for everything it's supposed to do to become the tree or whatever fabulous plant it's going to be. And we look at, most of you have seen my little puppy, and she knows how to be a dog. You know, I mean, she doesn't know all the things I necessarily want her to learn, but she's perfectly good at being a dog. I have a picture that some of you have seen that I took of her the other day there was a little corner of sunlight from the skylight in my house. And she thought herself right in that corner in the light, you know, and I thought, you know, and cats know how to do that, dogs know how to do that, and people do. People do know how to, it's one of the instincts that we maintain, that we like the sunlight, we know how to sit in that corner. And I thought about how many other instincts do we have? You know, we're the only species that we've substituted technology for instincts. And I love technology, I'm not opposed to it. But if we don't have it, you know, when the sunspot is gone, when the sun moves and my skylight doesn't have that spot anymore, that little dog will know how to either stay out of the sunlight or go to the next spot. But when my computer breaks down, I don't know what to do next. You know, we don't know how to live. We have created so many wonderful things like clothes and houses and all these things that we need them to live. And then we've expanded on them so much, you know, that it's very hard to tell which things we need and which things we don't need. And it's hard to tell how much of the things, you know, I have to have clothing because it gets cold. Well, it gets hot too. So the reverse of that would be I don't have to have clothing. But I do, because we've made up all kinds of rules and conventions, and if I take off my clothes just because it's 90 degrees out, it's not going to fly. So then we've got culture on top of all the things that we've added. You know, we've added the things that we need to live with, and then we've improved on all the things we need to live with. And I think at some point we took a turn. You know, we split, and we've gotten a little carried away with all the things we need. And when we can't find in our hearts the thing that we really need, well, we go shopping for something that will do until we can feel it in our hearts again. I have to stop and take a breath before I totally lose what I'm saying.
Breathe.
Thank you. I think some of the things that we've done is that we've gotten so busy. The farther we get away from the natural ways that we could live, we get busier and busier and busier. And you know, the things have now taken over us because we have to have so many things, and it takes so much effort to get all the things that we need. And you know, Barry Dennis was here a couple weeks ago. For anybody who missed him, you missed a great thing, but we do have it online. One of the things he talked about was simplicity, getting rid of all the extra stuff, you know. And I've gone through phases in my life. You know, one of the things Barry talked about was these people in Africa and how they could do this and that, even without electricity. And that's not a big without to me. I've lived without electricity. And when you're set up for it, it's not a hardship to live without electricity, especially when you have friends and neighbors who have electricity. But it's what we're set up for, you know. We're not used to having a simple life. So when we have all these things, it's really hard to decide what things are necessary, and it makes it really hard to connect. You know, people connect with things like who's driving the best car, and this will make me happy, and that bigger thing will make me happy. And I've gone through phases of no electricity, and I've gone through phases of a better car will do it for me, you know. And I always come back to the simple stuff. It's like, we need to live here, which has gotten really complicated anyway. But what I've found is that the simpler I can make it, the more ways I can connect to the earth, the better I do, you know. And the earth is in hurting shape. I don't know that we'll really ruin it. I think we might get evicted first. And the earth might be fine. But it may not be fun if we keep up in the way that we're going, you know. And to me, the fun, I don't really care about the future. I care about feeling good today. You know, I've gotten into that here and now enough to know that I need to fix whatever I'm going to fix now. I need to fix it today. And so a lot of the things I do are simple things that keep me feeling like I am saving the world, you know, one dyed piece of fabric at a time. It's my attitude. I mean, I know I'm not going to change everything that happens today. But I feel like when we do things that are simple and connect us to the earth, in whatever way, because they're not all as helpful as they could be. I'm not down at the dump helping with the recycle guys. And chances are you're not going to see me there. Because I have to feel good also while I do my stuff. But when I find things to do that are good for me, and good for the earth, and good for other people, that puts me in that space where I know we can create a world that works for everybody. And when I'm doing something simple that connects me to the earth, that's when those kind of answers come, you know? And most of us have learned in our prosperity classes or elsewhere that we can change, we can attract what we are, you know? And once we be it, the problem is solved. That's it, you know? And I think we can be it a lot easier every day by doing those things. And I think we can take lessons from the dogs and the cats and make it simple. And worrying, you know, we've kind of split ourselves so that we have all this stuff we have to do, and then we do more, and then we worry about what we have to do, which takes up all the current time that we have. I'm not sure exactly how I stopped worrying, or I know there were a few things involved, but at one point in my life, when I was trying to make changes, but this was a bonus change that I didn't know would happen. My mind got quiet. And it was at a time when I was still working a lot, and I was very busy. But just having that change of not worrying about things was like being on vacation. It just like cleared out in there, you know? And there was so much in there, I couldn't believe it. It was like a carnival in my head all the time. And when that stopped, a full-time job was nothing. You know, taking care of my kids was nothing. It was like, oh my God, it's so easy with all this stuff cleared out, you know? So all of that took me to the place where now I used to be a very high-tech, I still do websites and stuff. You know, I used to love the technical and using all my smart power to do smart things and to save the world. None of them worked, but that was where I was going. And now I'm mainly, my occupation mainly is as a soap maker. It is the oldest, maybe not the oldest technology there is, but it's close. People have been making soap for thousands of years. And what a trip that is. You know, what started it for me, I did it many years ago. I lived in a spiritual community and we raised pigs and we butchered a pig and it was the whole back to nature and we're not going to waste anything. And so I figured out how to make soap from lard. And then I did olive oil soap. And then a couple of years ago, Bunni did her vegan class here and somebody mentioned vegan soap. And I had to stop and think about what that was. And of course it's Castile soap. Olive oil is one of the oldest soap making elements too. And I said, I'm going to do that right now. So about 15 months later, I put together a batch of olive oil soap. And the feeling in doing it was like a prayer, you know, because it was a really simple, connecting myself with simple things that work in a simple way. And soap is kind of a magic, I'm not going to go off on my whole soap routine for you, but soap is kind of a magical thing, and we don't realize what you can do with soap because we've been so marketed to get rid of it, to buy a separate thing for each, you know, each thing we want to clean, we need a different cleaning thing for it. But there was a real, it's like some people get this cooking too, or gardening. When you garden, you get in that place where you're touching a point of the earth that's simple and sensible, and you feel yourself, and you feel other people, and then you don't worry, and then when that happens, you like everybody. And when you like everybody, you can do stuff for people, and they don't annoy you nearly as much as
They like you.
And that's right, they like you. And when everybody's not annoying each other with all this nonsense, we have such a good time. And then even when you stop making the soap or get out of the garden or do whatever it is, you still have that like residue of liking yourself and others and what's going on. So all of that you can do by planting a flower, making a bar of soap. How can you beat that? See God in these simple things, you know. So I don't know what else I had written here, but that's the main force of what I had to say today. The workshop I'm going to do is talking about ways that we can make our houses a little more eco-friendly, but it's not about we have to save the planet, okay? Because I did that for years, but we have to save the planet. It wasn't fun. I wasn't having any fun on the planet I was trying to save. And I am way too self-centered for that. If I'm not having fun, I really honestly don't care if the planet gets saved or not. But what I have found is that when I am having fun and I am connected to the universe, the planet is saved. And that, to me, is the key. You know, the Course in Miracles tells us that all these great writings that we go through, all these books we read and study and try to understand, that's what they tell us, you know? When we've got the God connection, everything's okay. It's all saved. Done. Now, you know, then you got the whole rest of the day to do whatever you want to do. That's not hard.
Are you saying you're our savior?
No, not at all. Not at all. But I'm my savior, and that's all I need to be. Like I said, I used to want to save the whole world. I wanted to fix everything for everybody. What I think is important now is when we all touch that place, or when we each touch that place where we have our connection, and when we do something that happens to be good with the earth, all those things go together, you know. When we feel good, we don't especially want to destroy the earth. When I feel good, I don't necessarily want to have all the stuff that you have. I'd rather hang out with you, and I don't mind if you have this stuff or not. So that's I have brought the whole education from the beginning of time and turned it completely into self-centeredness and make it work for me and the world. You can't beat that. So, the things that I think are great to be able to do are to be able to do things, to be able to create a world that works for all, and to do it by creating things that are better for the earth and are simpler and are less expensive. You know, one of the things that happens, I have a couple of groups of friends. This group, we know where everything is at Goodwill. The other group, they know stores that I don't even know where the stores are. Okay? We have mastered a lot of cool stuff here, you know. Shopping, it really is fun. I didn't think shopping was that much fun because it's so stressful. Oh my God, I spent all that money, I can't believe it. Now I've learned shopping really is fun at the Goodwill. Because when you get something fantastic and you didn't buy it new, it didn't use up anything on the earth, there's just so many good things about it, you know? And we go there and brag about, you know, used to be you didn't tell people what you spent, but you kind of wanted them to know, like, oh yeah, I got it at whatever the flip-de-doo store is in town. And now we go, somebody goes, oh, that looks nice. You go, can you believe it? Goodwill, $3. That works on a lot of levels, you know? Shopping at Goodwill is a great spiritual thing to do. Who knew? So you all know I'm an old hippie, and I do my whole back to the earth thing, and so that's kind of the direction I go in. And I want to show you a couple things here that we did, because I think this is so great, you know. This beautiful piece of fabric is rust dyed, you know. I took a rusty ornament, because we don't take good care of stuff at my house, so here's a rusty ornament on our porch. And by putting fabric over it, you can make a great piece of fabric like that with a great design from rust. And Joyce Rip does fabulous. I wanted to have some of her painted cloths here, but I can't plan well. But anyway, she does these fabulous paintings on silk. And what she has gotten into lately, and I have with her, is using indigo to dye. And these fabrics were dyed, these blues were done with indigo. You know, a really natural thing. We didn't spend a lot of money doing this stuff. I mean, it was like, and it was fun, you know. And this lovely flower of fabric, this is from mud. We took, a few of us went up to the mountains a few weeks ago and dug up some of that orange clay. And this is basically a mud pie creation. So, and you don't have to like these things. I know there's some people in here that are going, oh my God. And that doesn't matter, it's okay. What matters is that we each find our own spot like that, because when we can do stuff that's cheap, and that we can do together, and that we have fun doing, and that's good for the earth, and then we connect with the universe, we've got everything. I can't think of anything that's not involved in that, except cooking, and Charlene's usually there, and she'll cook something. So that's pretty much my whole shtick for this morning. But then I had to add something on, which is entirely, almost unrelated. We're going to try to make it related, but it's really kind of unrelated. A lot of you have heard me talk about my friend Melvin, and he's the person who got International Peace Day, which is September 21st, put on calendars. We call him the marketing man for peace. It's a day that was developed or decided by the UN years ago, the 21st, but Melvin's actually the person who got it put on millions of calendars all over. And he just passed about 2 weeks ago. He was a friend of mine for about 40 years. I love him dearly, and he was a great teacher of mine. And we lived in the commune together years ago. And in the commune, I tell wonderful stories about it, but I don't usually tell you how we were starving. we would have killed for a cookie. It was, we lived on brown rice and ate very healthy and very sparsely, and we worked like crazy, and we did stuff that nobody in their right mind would do. Really hard work. We'd go and pick apples for 2 days and bring home bushels of apples for payment, and we did all this stuff, and we did all of it pretty much without money because nobody had any. And so the guys who were driving or who had to fix things would get money for parts and for gas and stuff. And Melvin was one of those guys. So Melvin taught us all that anything could be solved with Oreo cookies. And he put together this book. This is how I tell you, when I say I was totally self-centered and I've made it work for me, this guy did this too. He loved himself so much, and it was so good for all of us that he did. And he put this book together while he was dying. And he let this fabulous, oh, it gives you the chills, this fabulous goodbye for everybody. And I just want to read the last paragraph of it. And he says, as my life on earth ends and the veil between dimensions opens up, I realize how important attitudes and actions based on values, ethics, cooperation, peace, and love really are. For each of us individually and for humanity as a whole. Blessings to you and yours. You have given me much. Thank you. So in his honor, and for the Mother's Day, the Hallmark version, not the Goddess version of Mother's Day, I think Mother's Day is a really tough time because even though we love to do Happy Mother's Day and roses and stuff, I know there's people who have lost their children from the planet, and there's people who have lost their children who are still on the planet, and there's people who have lost their mothers, and there's a lot of hard stuff on Mother's Day. And we're not going to heal it entirely, but when we meditate, we're going to eat an Oreo and try to heal it as much as we can. Because taste and all of our senses, music, sound, everything we do is connected. And I want you to eat an Oreo. Oreo communion we're going to have. In honor of my friend Melvin, and in honor of forgiveness and love and appreciation, and in healing of all those relationships, all the things that could have been better with our mothers and our kids and our family. We've got each other, and we've got an Oreo. And we've got this wonderful song that Joyce Ripp wrote and Karen Drucker recorded. I'm not going to talk through this meditation. We're going to sit and eat the Oreo and listen to this song and connect with the very best we can connect with. And thank you, and namaste.
I
How was the Oreo? Piece of heaven. I'm reminded that I agree with him. He is 100% Oreos and help anything. And so we're grateful to Bunny for her wisdom this morning. Thank you, Bunny. And let's see. What do we have on the screen? Tulips. Aha, our offertory blessing. And I think there's I have one. And we should take a deep breath and connect with the source and give great thanks. Arms raised upward.
Flowing through me, blessing these gifts, radiate peace.
And we'd like to do a song for you called Embrace It. There is
have our offertory blessing again. Arms raised up. I am light, flowing through me, blessing these gifts to radiate peace. And I have some announcements for the week. We have our Unity midweek contemplative service, Wednesdays 5:30 to 6:30. And this Wednesday is Susan Bowles. Oneness blessing all Wednesdays except the first Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. First Wednesday of each month is the healing and prayer service. Oneness blessing prayer is offered at the Peace Chapel after this service. And next Sunday we have David and Think on These Things at the 11 a.m. service and a workshop from 1 to 4 p.m. David, did you have anything you wanted to add? Here, I'll bring it to you.
A lot of you know that I was just in a pretty serious accident. So we're going to talk about, one of the things that we're going to talk about this is how to heal through trauma. And one of the things that we're going to do is a hands-on healing and anointing along with some Psyche and some other things. In the anointing, my wife and I, in our travels throughout the country, we have gathered some very special ingredients that we use for anointing people and blessing them, especially when times are hard in their life. And some of those ingredients are soil from the sanctuary Chumaya in New Mexico, where people have come from all over the world to receive healings and blessings at this little sanctuary. And during the polio epidemic, people came from all over the world, and they literally left their crutches right there because they were healed. We also have water from a place on the planet where Mother Mary appeared for many, many years and blessed the water, and people received healing. And then we have lavender oil. So this is going to be a really powerful workshop, and it's about healing and about thinking on the power of who we are as opposed to the difficulties in our lives. So please pray about being here.
We initiated a raffle on Earth Day, and it's an herb garden. It's raffling off an herb garden that's sitting downstairs, very beautiful. And we're going to be selling, the last tickets now before we raffle it off. So we just, wanted to make an announcement, give you the opportunity to the people that don't know about it.
Awesome. So get your tickets on the way out, or so we can maybe you'll win a garden. And I also, is there another announcement? An evening of sacred chant, kirtan concert in Omaha, May 31st, 7 to 9 p.m. $15 prepay, $20 at the door. You can register at 843-238-8516 or PayPal on website to Unity Church, unitymyrtlebeach.org. And before we have another announcement about the birthday party.
Yes. Hi everybody, I'm Danielle and I'm part of the birthday party committee, and I just wanted to let everybody know that we've changed the price from $25 if you buy or make your reservation in advance. It will be $20. So between now and the party, it will be $20 at the door. It will be $25. You can see me today after service. I'll be downstairs outside Fellowship Hall accepting payments. We prefer cash or a check made out to Unity, but if you need to pay with a debit card or a credit card, you can pay in the bookstore. Also, we still need volunteers for the birthday party committee if anyone's interested. And also, last year, the silent auction brought in $1,200 for Unity, which was fantastic. So we really need to have a successful silent auction again this year, and we need people to donate items. Carol Anderson is in charge of the silent auction, and you can see her or see me or see anybody on the committee. And also, that's it. Thank you.
Birthday party's coming up. When is it now?
June 8th.
June 8th. So, one other thing.
Anybody who's doing my workshop this afternoon, we brought plenty of food, so don't feel like you have to go out and get something to eat. we have plenty here, because it's going to be hard, it's Mother's Day, it's going to be hard to get out and eat and get back.
So, let's form our circle. It's really comfortable. And as we're forming our circle, let's think of those
See it down yet?
loved ones, friends, associates, people needing or you'd like to offer prayers for, and you can call them into the circle. Lily Rogers. I'm not ready for that yet. Not ready, not yet, not yet. No, we haven't done the peace prayer, sorry. We're doing our prayer circle right now, and if you have intentions, please call them into the circle. Know that they are multiplied by all the people that showed up here today. And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And everyone, have a happy Mother's Day. Enjoy.